machine vision and machine learning as absolutely relentless, but very dumb. So, there's no smartness behind it. So we have to provide that. We have to turn them to the right tasks. We have to figure out how to interpret the results and do something useful with them.
Hello. I'm with Mr. David Brebner. Can you please describe yourself and what you do in one sentence?
So I'm really interested in how to make humans better with technology. And so we have a software platform that lets people create anything they can imagine.
And how does that work exactly? We need more than one sentence to unpack that.
So the idea is that people can kind of describe what they want, and they can take advantage of a whole lot of building blocks of technology. So a lot of machine learning, machine vision, computer graphics, 3 dimensions, text, images, art, and then you can kind of lay it all out, and then it's up to the computer, whether it be a cell phone, or a VR headset, an AR headset, a laptop, a server in the cloud, to figure out how to achieve those goals you have asked. And if it's not quite what you want, you can kind of tweak it and adjust it until it's helping you achieve something that you couldn't do before.
And in 10 years, how do you think that will affect human creativity and thinking?
People are quite conservative about what they think they can achieve. But humans are incredible at synthesizing information, and our imaginations are, really unique in the animal world. And we can imagine incredible, especially when we work together in groups and you have people who have different outlooks on life and different skill sets. So seeing a group of people get together, they're trying to achieve something, and then it maybe morphs and changes direction during that process. And instead of the technology being a barrier, it's an enabler for that process. So I think that, the outcomes in 10 years, I can't even imagine. Hopefully amazing.
So it enhances human skills rather than replacing humans altogether.
Yeah.
And I know you said it's hard to imagine what this will look like in 10 years, but can you give us examples of how this can help us push boundaries?
That now we can have superhuman vision, that we can have systems that are tireless, working on our behalf to examine things that we might be producing or information that's being generated, and it could highlight the things that we need to respond to. So instead of us having to go through a whole series of menial kind of really challenging to keep our attention span on this given task. And instead, we can focus on the things that have been detected and found that we need to now solve and sort out the result for. The human creativity is being used for the added value, all of the things that make a difference, instead of the much less exciting task of, going through and examining hundreds of things hundreds of times.
So you're really driving the future of how we can use AI, but you've been in this field for over 20 years. You've seen how AI has evolved over time. Can you describe to us what exactly you have seen?
I think what's surprising, and I guess as humans, we have a worldview, which is that when you meet someone who can do something that's absolutely amazing, you think, well, that person's incredible, they're smarter than me, they're better than me, whatever. So, and we sort of imbue a lot of the machine vision and AI systems with these kind of superpowers, and we think that they're just, they must be intelligent. And I think, what's really interesting is that they're echoing back our data to us, and we take that to mean that these are living things with their own consciousness. Whereas I think in reality, they're tools that we can use, and as long as we use them wisely, they're incredibly capable and powerful. And I would describe machine vision and machine learning as absolutely relentless, but very dumb. So, there's no smartness behind it. So we have to provide that. We have to turn them to the right tasks. We have to figure out how to interpret the results and do something useful with them. And I guess what's most amazing over the last few years is how compute has continued to get better and faster, and the algorithms we use have continued to get better and better at exploiting data. So there were a few moments over the last decade where scale solved problems that we didn't think were necessarily going to be possible. And so when ImageNet first started to be able to classify images, that was an amazing moment. When GPT-2 started being able to write poems, people didn't really expect that to happen. And I think we'll see a lot more of that over the next 10 years, where additional insights are going to come as we take these data sets and we allow computers to figure out how to interpret them. So,
while also allowing them to sort of be a part of us, like you've mentioned the cyborg human. It's going to be insane because technology is going to be so seamlessly integrated in our lives that we're not even going to notice them anymore. What challenges do you think that will pose?
Yeah. Look, I think it's already posing a lot of challenges in the world. So I mentioned that computers are relentless. They're also very precise, and they'll keep doing what you task them to do. And, misinformation's a real problem. I remember when the internet was just starting to become a thing and people were moving from proprietary protocols to the World Wide Web. And I was excited for the future because everyone would be able to see the objective reality. And instead, it's the perfect opportunity for people to fall down these little rabbit holes of information that suits their personal bias. There's a lot of really unfortunate advertising where people are pushed products that aren't necessarily good for them, but it's good for the party who's pushing them. And now they can be done in a very targeted way. So you can have personalized advertising just for you that engages you and gets you excited about doing something that might not be good for you. So my hope is that we can focus on the things that are incredibly positive that are being developed and regulate the things that we're concerned about.
Thank you very, very much for sitting down with me today. It was a very insightful conversation.
Excellent. Thank you.